next 2 years, but it never works out like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I just think it's probably just, you know, time has been more of an issue, really, being honest. You know, so I think it's just more sometimes, I suppose, as well, is some of the, you know, the work has been led, I suppose, by Rachel, or, you know, so sometimes maybe I'm a little take a step back because I'm trying to pin me down on my time. Sometimes it's quite difficult. So that's the other thing as well. So maybe there's been a lot more done. I know definitely they did help very much on the values project, but then it kind of went away that we didn't want it to go, and then it was very hard to bring back.
Okay.
Which was an issue, you know, that kind of way. And you know, so from that perspective, you know, I suppose
on that particular project, because that's the kind of stuff would be really interesting for us as we go forward. What caused it to go in that? What happened that it went in a way that you
I just think that it kind of went down a route that somebody else wanted to go down to, but it went a way that it shouldn't have ever gone, and trying to get it back was a problem.
Okay. All right. And was that driven externally from your unit, that change in direction, or was it driven?
It was kind of driven by, it was kind of driven by two people who felt the project could go this way, but that wasn't what the project was about.
Okay. All right. Good. I just want to get an idea of whether,
it had to be reined back.
Okay. All righty. So moving on then, looking to the future, what do you think should be the priority areas for sport audit research, say, for the next 7 years?
I suppose I can only speak, I think it's a very important unit. I think what we need to start doing though is the research that we get is actually implementing that research, because I think there's been a lot of work done where necessarily, like, I don't think I've ever received any of the children's monitoring group. I don't think I've ever received one. I was never given it. Now, again, I never went to find it, I suppose, is the other element to that, so let's be honest. But I mightn't have known that was been done until much after the fact. And here we were having a safeguarding unit, and I never got the results of it. So, you know, so to us is, I think that sometimes as well is just because maybe it's commissioned by a particular unit, it doesn't mean that other units might be interested in it, if that makes any sense. It might be about children's participation, but that might help us from our perspective when we're writing a safeguarding policy to look at what we're looking at, or the Young Voices in Sport project, which again, you know, I think we need to make sure there's no silos, and it's unfortunate in our organisation that it sometimes happens. So to me is, I think, you know, it should be that we're trying to get that research and maybe look at a bigger picture of who might be interested in it within the unit, and that the overall organisation. So to me it's about implementing that, and I think it's certainly something, and I certainly welcome this meeting because from my perspective, so I'm just reading the question to make sure, to me is I welcome it, because I think sometimes from the anti-doping side and the ethics side we do get forgotten a bit, because I think sometimes it's kind of we're seen a bit as compliance. But, you know, so it's just to make sure that, you know, because we would want, you know, say the athlete welfare policy or something like that. We're actually probably a unit that sees athletes the most. We're in their houses 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we see things on the ground, you know, and the same with, you know, we're dealing with stuff, you know, regarding best practice for children to get people into participation. So in other words, we see the fallout of that when a family has detached themselves from a club due to personality issue. And people have walked away. So we actually see quite a bit from that side, which I don't think people kind of realise how much on the ground we are.
Yeah.
You know, so
Very
it's just, so to me it's, you know, just, you know, but the priorities, you know, from the Sport Ireland research from my side, I think is we'd love to start looking at areas like, you know, so, you know, the likes of the social science side. The one thing that we do, you know, there can be done, you know, is we could look at the social science funding in WADA. So WADA do with social science funding. Do we partner? Now, this is where, you know, we'd love to talk to you about, you know, is partnering with universities to do that project. Like, I don't know whether or not you have any, you know, things that we could partner university going forward with the world, you know, the WADA funding for social research. And it's quite a substantial amount of money. You could get a 6-figure sum to do it.
Okay.
You know, so you know what I mean? So to us from that perspective is, you know, we probably should have more interaction with you regarding, you know, there's one big one at the moment, but it's scientific. So it's about, you know, analytical methods, which we don't have somebody here with that expertise, I don't think, but maybe I'm wrong. you know.